Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Live It Up, the show where we explore and discuss how to take your life to that next level and beyond. We cover health, wealth, relationships, and how to create a life that feels good. Because after all, that's what we want. We want to feel good. I'm your host and coach, Fletcher Ellingson. Today on the show, we'll be visiting with Mr. Ray Perez of CW Construction Services. You know, I invited Ray on the show because I thoroughly enjoy learning about inspiring entrepreneurs. One of the things I admire about them is that they are able to bring ideas from up here into the physical world. And in Ray's case, he brings an entire building, which is just an idea up here, into the physical world. I find that fascinating. Ray's a neat guy, and I want you to meet him too, so stick around. But before we get to that, I want to remind you that if you have questions you would like us to answer on or off the air, you can email them directly to me at fletcher@fletcherellingson.com. You can also visit me at my website, fletcherellingson.com, where I've got all sorts of free resources there. You don't have to figure it all out on your own. There are answers and solutions and ways to get unstuck and move forward powerfully. All right, before we visit with Ray, let's answer one of the email questions. It says, "Hello Fletcher, I have a small manufacturing company that I'm attempting to scale in 2023 and 2024 so that I can ultimately sell it. The problem is that there are so many obstacles that keep getting in my way. Financial obstacles, staffing obstacles, marketing, you name it. I'm wondering if the universe is trying to tell me to take a step back or go a different direction completely. I'd appreciate any advice. Thanks, SW." Hey, SW, first of all, thanks for reaching out. As we always say on the show, reaching out for counsel, advice, for help, that's a sign of strength, which means you are strong. I gotta tell you, entrepreneurship is full of exactly what you just described, obstacles. Now, I'm not gonna tell you to keep on going or to pack things up, but I invite you to consider that very often the obstacle is the path. This certainly has been the case for me in a number of businesses in which I've been involved. The obstacle is the path is a reminder that often the challenges that we face in life can be the very things that help us grow and become stronger. It's a reminder to look at obstacles as opportunities for growth rather than as insurmountable barriers. One way to think about this concept is to consider the metaphor of a plant. When a plant is young and first starting to grow, it may face a lot of obstacles, such as competition for resources, harsh weather conditions. But as the plant struggles and works to overcome these obstacles, it becomes stronger and more resilient. It develops a deeper root system and may even grow taller and more robust as a result of the challenges that it's faced. Similarly, when we face obstacles in our own lives, it can be tempting to see them as negatives and to become discouraged. But if we can reframe our perspective and see these challenges as opportunities for growth, we can come out on the other side stronger and more resilient. Now, one way to do this is to embrace what's called a growth mindset. You probably heard this. This means looking at challenges as opportunities to learn and improve rather than as threats or failures. You see, when we have a growth mindset, we're more likely to try new things and to persevere even when faced with difficulties. We're also more likely to see setbacks as temporary and to view failures as opportunities to learn and grow. One more way to embrace the concept of the obstacle as the path is to practice gratitude. When we're grateful for the things we have and the opportunities that come our way, it becomes easier to see the positive side of even the most challenging situations. Gratitude has been a huge help to me in my life. Gratitude can help us find meaning and purpose in our struggles and can give us the resilience and determination we need to overcome obstacles. Finally, it's important to remember that we're not alone in facing obstacles. No one's path is easy, and we all face challenges at some point in our lives. Seeking support and guidance from friends, family, or a trusted mentor can help us navigate difficult times and can provide us with the encouragement and perspective we need to keep moving forward. So SW, I encourage you to embrace a growth mindset, practice gratitude, and continue seeking support when needed. You will overcome obstacles and come out on the other side stronger and more resilient. You can do this, and I believe in you. Thanks for the email. Stick around. We're going to be right back after the commercial to visit with my good friend Ray Perez. Hey everybody, welcome back to Live It Up. So glad you're here. So glad you're in this conversation. As you know, I think this is one of the most important conversations, personal development. And today we're talking with Mr. Ray Perez. Ray, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Yeah. All right, so CW Construction Service is the company, right?
Yes.
But first, before we dive into that, how'd you wind up in this industry?
Well, I kind of grew up in the construction industry ever since I got out of high school. It's been a blast, and I have a passion for construction, so I like what I do. I enjoy it, and it almost doesn't seem like work to me.
Yeah. Think back to when you first got into it. What was your first job?
I was actually a framer in the union in Southern California. So started as a grunt, hauling lumber. So yeah, it was exciting times in the Mojave Desert. So
in the Mojave Desert?
Yeah,
Whoa.
building track houses. So,
right on.
Yeah.
So you started off as a grunt, as you say,
Yep.
and I mean, isn't that where everyone has to start out?
Yeah, I believe so. I think it helps a person grow to start at the bottom and work your stages through whatever your craft is, whatever your trade is.
What's up from a grunt? What do you move up to?
Really, you get up to, it depends on the trade. For me, I became a carpenter, then I became a journeyman carpenter, and then after that, went into some type of a management position with whatever company I was working with. So I grew from there. It was a heck of a path.
Yeah. Did you always have that as kind of the end goal? Like, someday I want to have my own construction company.
Yeah. It didn't really start up that way. I really thought I was going to be a union carpenter for life when I first started, but life throws a curveball at you, and I ended up here, and I'm loving it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And you said you moved up here about 30 years ago.
30 years ago. Somebody invited me up here. Actually, I came to visit some family up here, and while I was up here, I was invited to visit Lake Chelan. And we don't have Lake Chelan in Los Angeles, people, so yeah, had to move up here.
Yeah, different world, right?
Yeah, beautiful. I loved it.
So tell me, what do you love about working in the construction industry and owning and running your own company?
Well, more than anything, I love the people I work with. The clients, I have a fantastic client base. The referrals, I've had a heck of a time. More than anything, I end up with long life friends out of the construction business. I work with a lot of subcontractors, and it gives me pleasure to make sure to keep these guys busy. Love having them be busy.
One of the things you're going to find out about Ray is he is just positive. I mean, he's just always, I just love that. The concept of providing opportunities for employment, it's so cool, because that really is what businesses do.
Yeah.
They're solving problems for their clients, but they're providing opportunities for others to, maybe they're starting off as the grunt as well, but starting off as an opportunity to grow and evolve as a person, right?
Yeah, and there are some fantastic subcontractors out there, a lot of them. So,
right on.
Yeah.
What's a challenge that came up as a result of being an entrepreneur that you maybe didn't anticipate?
Wow. Well, I think everybody would know that, especially going through the COVID time, there was multiple challenges and hurdles and hoops to go through. Even when it came to labor force, to materials, it just was a challenge all the way through. Putting things back together was tough, but it's just a part of being not just an entrepreneur, but also being in any kind of a business.
Yeah, I think sometimes people make business look easy, or you walk into a store and everything's where it should be, and but there's a lot of different hats to wear as an entrepreneur, isn't there?
There are, and you've got to love what you're doing, and I think everybody should love what you're doing. If you're not loving what you're doing, try something else. Love what you're doing. If whatever it is that you love to do, make it your job, make it a career. Yeah, and if you do that, even challenges, I have challenges all the time, different projects. It could be a sub that just doesn't show up or something else. It's fun to just fix it, deal with it. There's no need to get upset. If you love your job, it's going to be easy.
Yeah, and I love what you just said. There's no need to get upset. We're very practiced at getting upset about a lot of things. But what I appreciate about your attitude is in our conversations in the past, one of the things you've told me is that you just always look at these as opportunities to be resourceful.
Yeah,
right. And
absolutely.
And every time if it happens again, you know how to handle it, so you get better and better and more proficient at solving problems, right?
That's right. You know what one of the best things about a problem is it does help you grow. So a real good, for instance, is the fact that a subcontractor doesn't show up. You get to call other subcontractors to be able to fill the void. And it could be for somebody's ill type of a reason. You know, somebody got sick and couldn't make it to the job site, but we all have schedules to keep, and the best part is you get to meet a lot of really good people out there.
Yeah. I also like what you just said. There is no growth without challenge.
There isn't.
There really, the only way we're going to grow is if there are challenges put in our path.
Correct.
Yeah, so really cool. Real estate has slowed just a bit.
Yep.
Has that affected your business, or tell me a little bit about that?
I'm a very fortunate individual. All of 100% of my business is referral based. So I've been very, very lucky to have enough work secured to carry us through 2023. I'm still picking up work because I do have a lot of crews that need to feed their families, need to work, and need to do, put kids through college and things like that. So real estate has slowed. I did notice a little bit of a shift more towards a lot of remodel and things like that, but we still are working on new construction and remodels.
Yeah, in fact, you just got a bunch of work up in Ephrata.
I did. I'm very fortunate to pick up a fairly large size project. I've got a permanent superintendent working there right now, and I think it'll keep multiple crews busy over there as well.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And one more question for you. One of the things that struck me, and we're going to talk about this after the commercial break, but one of the things that struck me when I was talking to you was about how you love to be transparent.
Absolutely.
And I want people to hear this because in your industry, a lot of people feel like they've kind of been burned, or they've had, maybe burned is a strong word, but they have had interactions with the building process that haven't gone the way they wanted. There's been a lot of surprises, a lot of disappointments around costs and everything. But one of the things that I really loved about what you said was one of our standards is transparency in the whole entire process and how you walk your client through that. Let's talk about that in just a minute, okay?
Sounds good.
All right. Hey, we're going to be back in just a second. Stay with us. I want you to find out more about Ray. He's a really neat guy, so hold tight. Hey everybody, welcome back to Live It Up. So glad you're here. I'm your host and coach, Fletcher Ellingson. We're visiting today with Mr. Ray Perez from CW Construction Services. CW stands for?
Central Washington Construction Services.
Okay, all right. So yes, we're talking about transparency, and when you talked to me about that, you really caught my attention.
Yeah. Because
in some of my experience, that has been missing from projects I've been involved with, and I've heard a lot of other people say that that's frequently missing. Tell me a little bit about that.
Okay. So I'll go back a little bit. I'll back it up a little bit. So my business name is Central Washington Construction Services for a reason. I am licensed, bonded, and insured as a general contractor, but I provide a project management services for everybody, for all of my projects. As a project manager, I include every owner of a project to be involved as much as they can, as much as they want to be. The way that I am more transparent is I like to provide, before there's ever a contract written, I'd like to provide a schedule and a budget for every project, and I'd like it to be as clear with multiple items as possible. An example would be if we're doing a kitchen remodel, I want you to see exactly what the cabinets cost, what your countertops cost, what all the fixtures cost, your knobs, and exactly what the labor costs, And at the bottom of that, you'll see my management fee as a project manager for your project. So it's broken down, very detailed, and I want owners to be able to see that. Now, during construction, prices can fluctuate for labor or for materials, as we've seen through COVID.
Sure.
So if something does cost more, the owner will feel that. And if something costs less, it stays in the owner's pocket. So transparency is a big deal when you're working with somebody. And if you think about, and by the way, my service is not a one-size-fits-all. We have fantastic general contractors in the valley that are 100% hands-on.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer to work with owners that want to work with me. So
I love it.
yeah,
and that can be so comforting to a homeowner too, to really know, because sometimes people are left with, well, God, how much did they mark those up? Like, how much were those things, right? Or what were the labor costs?
Yeah.
And so it's super helpful to know that. And what I think that does is it establishes a base level of solid trust.
Yes,
Right?
yes. I think clients, homeowners, project owners like to be involved for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
I do have some people that I've spoke with, and that it wasn't a good fit to have me on their projects. There's a lot of details to it. I just think that some people would much rather have somebody who's completely hands-on and they don't want to do anything besides write a check.
Got it. Yeah. Well, you're clearly doing well because you've got a lot of referral business, right?
I do. I have a lot of referral business. I'm very fortunate and very blessed. And again, the best part about that is I get to keep crews busy, families busy. So.
Yeah, and I love that you keep on bringing that back, because it really speaks to a community-minded mindset, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you're thinking about not what's just going into my pocket and how I'm helping my family, but you're helping other families also make a living in the community.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
love that. What kind of projects do you favor? Like, is it commercial? Is it personal, real estate? What? Tell me a little about that.
So the projects that I favor come with fantastic owners. So if I can do some commercial work, residential work, remodel work. For the most part, I've been doing mainly new construction, but I've done a little bit of commercial work as well. It depends on the size of the project as well for when it comes to something commercial. But mainly, if we have some fantastic owners that want to be involved, it's my pleasure to work with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Got it. And I heard you mention remodels. So
Yeah.
is that something you also are involved with?
Yes, I am. I actually currently have 2 remodels that I'm working on, and I have superintendents on these job sites, hands-on. So it's everything goes very smooth.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good. So real quick, how do people get in touch with you if they say, hey, I want to work with this guy?
Yeah, the best way to get a hold of me is shoot me a text message at 509-679-3878 or call me. That's my cell number. Those are actually the very best ways to get a hold of me initially. So please reach out. I'm willing to help.
Yeah, and are there any fees for an initial consultation?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, if you have a project that you want to get a budget put together on and talk about it, they're at no cost. We can get together. There's never any kind of a transfer or contract signed for just reaching out, talking to me, or even for putting a budget together for you. Reach out to me.
Yeah, and he really is a very easy person to talk to, just like right now. So yeah, give him a call. The other thing I think people would want to know too is that you're an active real estate investor yourself.
I am, yeah.
And so I love working with people in an industry where their interests are beyond the immediate thing that they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so how'd you get into that?
I think it's just growth of working in construction, working with people. It is just personal growth is all. I work on real estate, so I figured I might as well have some of it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's fun.
And when did you start doing that?
It's been about 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on. And it's been serving you well?
I'm very fortunate.
Good. Right on. I think that is a wonderful way to grow wealth, and it can be a little intimidating to get into the game.
Yeah.
But once you're in the game,
Yeah.
It's a great feeling, right?
It is. It doesn't get easy, but it's fun.
Yes, yes. And you keep on learning because every property is unique, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, every property has its own challenges and rewards, kind of like the things you build. And speaking of building, as entrepreneurs, I mentioned in the top of the show, one of the things entrepreneurs is they take these ideas and they manifest them into the physical space. And I just think it's so cool. Like, you're an entrepreneur, you're literally manifesting buildings.
Yeah.
I mean, how satisfying is that?
It's very satisfying. Again, I have a passion for construction and buildings. When I was younger, I used to walk through buildings and figure out how something was built. Or I'll walk into a neat building like this one and take a look at all the beams, and it's gratifying to see something that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So when you go into a new home, go into a commercial building, and you get to work on these projects, it's very gratifying to see something beautiful get finished off. So, and the process is incredible.
Yeah. And so you get the idea, or the owner's idea, but you get to have that idea too, and then boom, it's not like magic, because there's a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
But to me, when I go and see this new construction, I'm like, I really am like in awe. I'm like, how did they do this? Because that skill set is so beyond the skill sets that I have. It's just so different, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. What's next for you?
I want to spend time with the family. That's what's next for me. Jeez, got to do it.
Yeah, right on.
That's why we work, right? For family time, for living well and relaxing.
Yeah.
So,
Are any of your family members involved in this industry?
I do have older brother that works in construction, but that's in another state. He's actually a lot bigger scale.
Mm-hmm.
So
Do you guys get to talk shop then?
we do quite a bit. And actually, when I go see him, I'm planning to visit here soon. He likes to walk me through his projects there, but those are very, very large projects.
Oh, fun. And down in Los Angeles. Yeah, right.
Correct.
On.
Yeah.
Good. Well, hey, Ray, I want to thank you for coming on. Just one more time for the people out there, give them your contact number.
Okay. The best way to reach me is through my phone, 509-679-3878. You can text me. You can call me.
Right on. All right.
Thank you.
And now it's time for you guys to get out there. Be a source of kindness. Be a source of contribution. You do have something to offer this world, and I believe in you.